Welcome back to our channel, soap fans. Today is a beautiful, sunny day to dive into the absolute madness that just went down in Portugal. We have so much to unpack today, so grab your snacks, get comfortable, and let's get right into the drama. Let's talk about Martin Gray for a second. We all thought Martin was going to pull a rabbit out of his hat, right? Like, he is Martin Gray. He's supposed to be the slick, unbeatable, fast-talking lawyer who can get anyone out of anything. He literally promised Curtis Ashford that he could beat that plea deal. They rejected the short stint in prison because they thought they could prove undue provocation on the stand. But no, he completely, utterly failed. Honestly, I'm yelling at my screen just thinking about it. The judge looks down from the bench, absolutely zero mercy in his eyes, and sentences Curtis Ashford to 2 years in Pentonville for the assault on Isaiah Gannon. 2 whole years. I was like, are you serious? Let me paint the picture of this courtroom for you, because the tension was so thick you could physically choke on it. The dark wood paneling, the harsh fluorescent lighting, the absolute dead silence when the judge started speaking. Martin Gray was standing there in his expensive tailored suit, looking like he just swallowed a lemon because he knew he lost the biggest case of his comeback. Curtis was wearing this suit that suddenly looked 3 sizes too big for him, like the weight of the world was physically crushing his shoulder. And Isaiah? Oh my god! Isaiah Gannon was sitting in the gallery, looking so incredibly smug. He had this little arrogant smirk on his face, probably calculating exactly how much money he is going to drain from Curtis in this upcoming civil suit with Rick Lance. Rick is so sneaky, you just know he is loving every single second of this destruction. Oh wait, before that happened, actually, let me back up for a second. Remember how this whole mess started? Curtis literally slugged Isaiah out of nowhere because he saw him feeling Portia's pregnant stomach, which is insane, by the way. Curtis just completely lost his temper and raged out because he was feeling territorial over his baby, and he ended up destroying Isaiah's hand. But 2 years in maximum security? That is wild. Unhinged. I mean, yes, assault is bad, and Isaiah is a surgeon who needs his hands. But they treated Curtis like a menace to society. Anyway, back to the courtroom. The gavel bangs. Bang. And right at that exact second, Jordan Ashford, who was standing there in the gallery watching the man she once loved get his life destroyed, just completely goes white. Like, all the blood drains from her face in an instant. She sways on her feet, her eyes roll back into her head, and then bam, she collapses right there on the hard courtroom floor. Total chaos erupts. People are screaming, the bailiffs are running over, Portia's looking over in absolute shock. I can't breathe. It was literally a movie scene. The sheer panic in the room was palpable. They rushed Jordan to General Hospital. Of course they do. Because where else does anything happen in Port Charles? And at this point, I'm pacing my living room, biting my nails. Like, what is wrong with Jordan? Is it stress? Is it fallout from the Route 91 crash? I forgot to mention earlier, but she has been under so much immense pressure lately with the Jen Sidwell undercover mess. Her body has been through so much physical and mental trauma over the last year. So she wakes up in the GH bed, looking all confused and fragile, the heart monitor beeping steadily in the background, and the doctor walks in with her test. Bam. Plot twist of the century. Jordan is pregnant. I'm dead. I am literally deceased. Jordan Ashford is pregnant with Curtis's baby, right as he gets sent to prison for 2 years. The audacity of these writers. The timing is so soap opera, I can't even stand it. I had to pause and text my friend immediately, because the irony is just too much to handle. She just found out she's going to be a mother again, but the father of her child is currently being fitted for a scratchy orange jumpsuit and loaded onto a heavily guarded prison transport. I mean, honestly, you cannot make this stuff. And can we just pause for a second and talk about the absolute sheer audacity of this situation? Curtis Ashford literally just had a newborn baby boy with Portia Robinson. Like, Portia just gave birth at home with Jordan's help. And now, Jordan is pregnant too? Curtis is out here populating half of Port Charles while he's headed to a maximum security prison. I am yelling at my screen. Imagine the family dinners. Portia's boyfriend Isaiah is the one who got Curtis sent to prison in the first place, and now Jordan is carrying Curtis's second unexpected child of the year. The messy, tangled web of these relationships is exactly why I watch this show, honestly. It is so deliciously complicated and messy. So now Jordan is lying there in her sterile hospital gown, and you can see the absolute panic setting into her eyes. The joy of being a mom, of bringing a new life into the world, is completely overshadowed by the sheer terror of her reality. She has to make an impossible choice. Does she tell Curtis? Does she drop this massive, life-altering bomb on him while he is at his lowest, most vulnerable point behind bars? Or does she keep it a secret? Like, she needs to get it together, I swear, but Also, I feel so incredibly bad. If she tells him, he might lose his mind with worry because he can't be there to protect her or the baby. If she doesn't, she has to face the public gossip and the whispers all by herself. People in Port Charles love to talk, and an unwed pregnant former police commissioner? The tabloids will have an absolute field day. Wait, did I already say that? Whatever. Anyway, she decides she has to see him. She cannot just sit there in that hospital bed overthinking it while the walls close in on her. She checks herself out against medical advice and goes straight to Pentonville. The vibe at Pentonville is so dark and creepy. It's cinematic, honestly. The damp gray concrete walls, the flickering fluorescent lights buzzing overhead, the echoing metal doors clanging shut with that terrifying finality. It literally gave me chills just watching her walk down the corridor. Jordan walks in, looking so strong and composed on the outside, wearing her professional blazer, but you know she is breaking into a million tiny pieces inside. She gets to a cell area, and you guys, he is not okay. He is absolutely losing his mind. And here is where I literally started screaming at my rat. There are rats in his cell. Not just one stray mouse, but like a horrifying infestation of huge, disgusting, beady-eyed rats. Now, if you are a hardcore GH fan, you know this deep lore, and you know exactly why this is so significant. Years ago, before all this mob drama and political maneuvering, Drew Kane and Curtis were best buddies running a private investigation business together. They were investigating a massive case, and they literally had to go dumpster diving in the grimiest, grossest alley in Port Charles to find a piece of evidence. And while they were in the trash, this massive, mutant-sized rat jumped out. Curtis, this towering, muscular, fearless guy who takes down armed criminals for a living, let out a scream that probably shattered windows. He completely froze. Drew teased him relentlessly about it, calling him Goliath being taken down by a rodent David. It was hilarious back then. But now it is the most tragic, horrifying weapon being used against him. And now Curtis is locked in a tiny concrete box with them. He is huddled in the corner of his cell, sweating profusely, hyperventilating, completely and utterly traumatized by the sound of their claws scratching against the concrete. Jordan sees this through the thick iron bars, and her heart just shattered. You can see the tears welling up in her eyes, threatening to spill over. She came there to tell him about the baby. She literally had her hand hovering over her stomach, ready to share this beautiful, miraculous news, and instead she finds the man she loves being systematically, psychologically tortured. At this point, Curtis is so desperate, he's begging her, literally begging her with tears streaming down his face, his voice cracking. Jordan, you have to get me out of here. Use your connections. And he doesn't mean legal connections. He doesn't mean calling Martin Gray to file a desperate appeal. He means Jens Sidwell. Why would he do that? I was yelling. Jens Sidwell just took a 30-year plea deal. He is a dangerous, international criminal mastermind. Curtis is begging Jordan to use her undercover association with Sidwell to pull strings in the corrupt prison system and get him transferred to a safer facility. He wants her to tap into the criminal underworld just to get away from the rat. I mean, I get it. Phobias are real, and he is absolutely terrified. But asking Jordan to compromise her entire career, her ethics, and her safety? And don't even get me started on the fact that Jordan is carrying his unborn child. She is standing there, holding this massive secret, realizing that if she gets back into bed with Sidwell's syndicate, she is putting her baby in direct mortal danger. Sidwell is a monster. He literally offered to pay for Jordan's plastic surgery in a German clinic just to manipulate her vanity and pull her back into his web. He is ruthless. And now Curtis wants her to voluntarily walk back into that monster's orbit? Jordan is completely torn. The impossible choices now facing everyone involved are just staggering. She loves Curtis. She hates seeing him suffer like this. It is breaking her soul to see this strong man reduced to a trembling mess. But she has a fragile new life growing inside her. She cannot play mob game. She cannot risk being an accessory to a criminal syndicate just to get Curtis away from some rodents. But they aren't just rodents to him. It's literal torture. Oh wait, I forgot the craziest part. As Jordan is standing there, looking at the rats scurrying across the cold floor, she realizes something chilling. This isn't an accident. Pentonville is gross, sure, but this is targeted. Someone is intentionally putting rats in Curtis's cell. Someone knows his deepest, darkest fear, and they are weaponizing it against him to break his spirit. My jaw dropped. Who is doing this? Is it Isaiah Gannon? We know Isaiah is super vindictive, and he's pursuing a massive civil suit with Rick Lance. Did Isaiah pay off a dirty prison guard to torture Curtis and make his life a living hell? Or is it Sidwell? Sidwell has eyes everywhere, even behind bars. Maybe he is torturing Curtis to force Jordan to come crawling back to him for a favor. It is so sick and twisted. I'm calling it now. This is going to end badly. Mark my words. If Jordan makes a deal with Sidwell, she is selling her soul and endangering her child. But if she walks away, Curtis might actually lose his mind in that he is breaking down right in front of our eyes. And she still hasn't told him she's pregnant. She just stands there, paralyzed by the weight of it all. The drama is so thick you could cut it with a knife. I honestly don't know how I'm going to survive the rest of this week. The stakes have never been higher. Jordan is literally carrying the future of the Ashford family, while Curtis is trapped in a literal, inescapable nightmare. And the fact that someone is pulling the strings from the shadows? Unbelievable. I am so invested it hurts. These writers are unhinged right now, and I am honestly here for every single second. Okay, where was I? Right, so Jordan just leaves the prison, tears streaming down her face, clutching her stomach in the dark hallway as the metal doors slam shut behind her. The visual was stunning. Just stunning. I can't even deal right now.